Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Rowe. Thank you for letting me interrupt your regularly scheduled program. I'm the former committee chairman and current committee member of Troop 309. First off, I'd like to apologize to Tyler, as well as Tom and Kelly, for not being able to be here in person to celebrate with you on this momentous occasion of Tyler's Eagle Scout Court of Honor. When I was first asked to speak about Tyler today at this Court of Honor, I was kind of stuck. I was at a loss for words. Now I know, you guys are all laughing right now. I think Tom had nothing to say. It wasn't so much I had nothing to say, it was that what was I going to say to a group of people who all know Tyler either better or longer than I did? And I was really stuck for about a week. I just couldn't think of what to say about this young man. And it finally dawned on me that I was just going to sit down and write up my favorite Tyler story. So Tyler, I don't know where you are right now, but are you nervous yet? So those of you that know Tyler, and if you've spent any time looking and just watching him interact with people around him, or just the universe, you'll know that Tyler's a bit of a goof. Now stop. Stop right now. Put the phones down. Don't start sending me text messages and hate mail. I'm not trash talking Tyler. Okay? I'm not. In my world, outside of the scouting universe, the goofs, the nerds, the geeks, those are my people. Okay? The folks that are listening to the drummers and are marching to that beat that is nobody else can hear. Those are the people that I hang out with mostly. Those are the ones that are the kindest and most generous individuals, and they have always appealed to me. Tyler is one of those people, and being a goof is not a bad thing. So we're gonna leave that right now. We're gonna put a pin in the goof thing for a minute. We're gonna come back to it. So just hold on to that thought just for a second. So we're gonna go back about 18 months-ish. We're going to go back to Camporee. Now, for those of you that don't know, Camporee is kind of a scouting Olympics thing. It's different events, and they're competitive, and they kind of compete one troop against the other in different silly events. And they usually have a theme. This year was a little bit different. They wanted to separate the adults from the scouts. They wanted the adults to work on some service project and have the scouts kind of go do their own thing. So in our minds, this was a really Lord of the Flies kind of thing going on. That wasn't a good idea. This whole horde of 11 to 17-year-old kids running around competing in these events didn't seem like a good idea. So the Troop 309 leadership decided we were going to do our own thing. And we stuck with our kids. And so we got paired up with this other troop, and off we went. And throughout the day, our boys, their boys, doing our thing, competing through the events. And any competitive event with a bunch of young men, you have the trash talking. Okay, fine. It's going to happen. As long as it stays friendly, no worries. And they're trash talking before, during, after each event. So be it. And it did, for the most part, stay friendly. And there was no issues. Then as the day wears on, they're getting tired. They're getting grumpy. And the other troop kind of found a target. And it ceased to be friendly. And I started watching it a bit closer. And when they found the target, they just kept picking at him. And we started coming home, going back down to camp from the top of the mountain. And in just a few minutes it's not a big camp. Emerson's not a big camp. It takes less than 5 minutes or so to walk down from where we were down to the bottom. At that point, I decided that it was time to intervene and put a stop to the shenanigans. I had really hoped that the young man would put a stop to the teasing himself. But it didn't happen, so fine, we'll end it. But Tyler, apparently, had been watching and observing as closely as I had. So when I decided it was time to go over, he beat me to it. I watched him get up, because he beat me down the mountain. Surprise. And when he got up to go over there, he had changed. His demeanor was different. He stood taller. His shoulders were back. The goofy grin on his face wasn't there anymore. It was a determined look on his face. And he went over to where the two scouts from the other troop were, and they were still conversing with our young man. And he put himself right in between the three of them, separating our young man from their two, and stood there. And he didn't raise his voice. He didn't threaten the young men. He simply told them in no uncertain terms that we're done here. We're finished with this. You're done. You need to turn around and go away. And that's exactly what they did. They turned and they left, and that was it. He put a stop to it by himself. I was amazed. I was shocked. And quite honestly, I was very proud. None of the adult leaders could have handled that any better than he did. He showed an amazing amount of maturity and restraint, because he obviously looked a little irritated. You know, he was upset. This was one of his friends. And, you know, rightly so. So next time you look at Tyler, and he's doing something goofy, and that's probably going to be in the next 15 minutes, try to remember the loyalty and the bravery he showed right at that moment. It's not easy to stand up to your peers and say no and tell them that what they're doing is not okay. And when you remember that, you may be tempted to think that, wow, the heart that's beating inside that young man is the heart of a lion, or maybe even the heart of a sheepdog. But if you thought that, you'd be wrong. Because the heart that beats inside the chest of Tyler is the heart of an eagle. A scout is loyal. A scout is brave. Well done, Tyler. We're all very proud of you. I'll see you when I get home. Enjoy your day.